and the bait is going to be consistent. It's going to stay where you want it to, so it's going to look like you want it to. It's going to look real. It's going to look natural. And when I hook it, I usually bury it in the plastic. Now, if the bite's tough and I want to get a little bit of an edge, what I'll do is I'll work a hole here in the plastic, so a little bit of that hook point's just about ready to come out, and that'll help me if I got a little tougher of a bite situation. But this is, I would call this a medium wire. Almost, it's on the edge of a light wire. I really like that in a lot of situations for a lot of different types of soft plastics, because the lighter the wire, the easier the hook penetration, the more fish you're going to catch. So when I'm fishing, a lot of times a stick bait or a shaky head or any really type of soft plastic, that medium to light wire is really important to me because it helps me catch those fish, especially when I'm making long casts. I've got a lot of line out, making a long cast with a stick bait. This is going to be the kind of hook that is really going to help me. It's going to be the one that I go with. Now, this has a bit of a bent shank, and I love to use this hook. I use a Texas rig. I use it just weightless as it is. Sometimes you're going to get a situation where the bite's real finicky, and you may lose some fish on this style of hook. If you're losing any fish, at all, my next adjustment is staying with the medium wire, but going to a straight shank, right? I'm taking that bend out of the hook. Right there, you can see it right there. This is bent, this is a straight wire. It has a much bigger bite, the distance between the hook and the line tie and where the hook point comes out of the bait. It's a much wider space there. So if you're losing fish on a bent shank worm hook, your next adjustment is going to a straight shank. So that's the two hooks that I typically use whenever I start Texas rigging any style of bait. Now sometimes, these are light wire, medium wire hooks. Sometimes we've got to get in after the fish. We've got to get in deep with heavy grass, heavy wood, and we're fishing for big fish. Sometimes in that heavy cover, you're fishing for the biggest fish in the lake. I don't care whether you're up north, you're all the way down in Texas. When I'm in the heavy cover, I've got to step up my hook, and I'm going to the heavy gauge. This is the VMC red line flipping hook, and this has a much heavier gauge on it. When are you going to use it? I told you, in the heavy cover. You're going to use it when you're using braided line direct, 50, 65, even 80 pound braid, 20, 25 pound fluorocarbon tied direct. This is when you're going to be able to use this heavy style hook, and that's when you want to do it, because you're not making a long cast. You're not fishing off of a ledge, a long grass edge. You're not making bomb casts with a stick bait. You're flipping in close quarters, combat flipping, right? 20 feet of line out, short casts, heavy flipping stick, powerful line. You've got to match that up with a heavy gauge hook. If you use a light wire hook, in those scenarios, it'll flex, it'll bend out, and a big fish will have a really good chance to get off.